All right, welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. We were picking up where we left off yesterday with A Course in Miracles, and if you recall, we were really getting into Lesson 4.
Yeah.
These thoughts do not mean anything,
Yeah.
and
Right.
just a quick recap, it was all about, beginning to question, all the stuff that our minds tend to come up with.
Yeah, and questioning the validity of those thoughts. Like,
Exactly.
how much weight are we giving them?
Yeah. And so today, we are moving on to Lesson 5. And the title of this is a good one. I am never upset for the reason I think.
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, this one is going to be,
A tough one.
it really is. It's one of those that I think every time I come to it in the workbook, it's like,
Right.
oh, okay, got to pay attention to this one. So why don't we go ahead and hear the lesson and then we'll dive in.
I am never upset for the reason I think. This idea, like the preceding one, can be used with any person, situation, or event you think is causing you pain. Apply it specifically to whatever you believe is the cause of your upset, using the description of the feeling in whatever term seems accurate to you. The upset may seem to be fear, worry, depression, anxiety, anger, hatred, jealousy, or any number of other forms, all of which will be perceived as different. This is not true. However, until you learn that form does not matter, each form becomes a proper subject for your exercises for the day. Applying the same thought to each of them separately is the first step in ultimately recognizing they are all the same.
Wow, so much to unpack there.
Yeah, there's a lot there.
I mean, I think what really gets me right off the bat is just that idea of like,
Yeah,
I am never upset for the reason I think.
right.
Like, how many times a day do we walk around thinking,
It's this person.
it's this person?
Or this situation, it's this thing that happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's got to be that thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
it couldn't possibly be anything else.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's what our ego tells us, right?
Yes.
Our ego wants to blame
Always wants to blame.
external circumstances, other people.
It's so much easier
It's so much easier.
to point the finger than to look within.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So how does this concept fit into like the overall philosophy of A Course in Miracles?
Well, the Course teaches that, a lot of what we perceive in the world is actually an illusion. It's a projection of our own internal state, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
So if we're feeling upset,
Yeah.
it's not really because of what's happening out there. It's because of how we're choosing to interpret it.
Okay, so it's not about denying that we're feeling these things.
No, not at all.
We're not saying, oh, you're not actually angry.
Right. The feelings are real.
Okay.
But the cause that we attribute them to, that's what we need to question.
Right, and the lesson even says to like, name the feeling. Name what you think is causing it.
Exactly, yeah. And that's part of the process, right? Becoming more aware of those thought patterns,
I see, okay.
bringing them to the light of our awareness.
And then there's that line, there are no small upsets.
Ooh.
They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. I think sometimes we tend to discount
Yeah.
little upsets. We're like, oh, it's just, I'd spilled my coffee, no big deal.
Right.
But the lesson is saying, no, it's all the same.
It's all the same. Yeah, and I think what the Course is getting at there is that any upset, no matter how small, is a disruption to our inner peace.
Okay.
It's a sign that we've bought into the ego's thought system.
And so we need to apply this lesson
Yeah.
to every single one of these.
Everything.
Big
yeah.
or small, burnt toast to,
Exactly. Yeah.
something major.
Yeah, because it's all coming from the same place, right?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
And then there's that instruction to regard them all as the same. What does that mean?
So when we see anger, fear, sadness, all these different emotions, we tend to think they're very separate. But what the Course is saying is that they're all just different forms of the same thing.
Oh, interesting.
It's like different flavors of ice cream.
Okay.
You got chocolate, you've got vanilla, strawberry,
Mm-hmm.
but it's all still ice cream.
It's all still ice cream.
It's all frozen dairy, right?
Right.
So the flavor might seem important, but ultimately it's all coming from the same source.
And that source being...
Our ego, our belief in
Ego.
separation,
Okay, yeah.
and the illusion that we're separate from each other, separate from the world, separate from God.
This is making me think about something that happened to me just the other day at work.
Oh, yeah.
I was working on this project, and I was so stressed out.
Okay.
And I was totally convinced it was my coworker's fault.
Uh-huh.
Because he just wasn't, pulling his weight, wasn't doing his part.
Right, right.
And I was getting resentful. I was getting angry.
Sure.
But then I remembered this lesson. I am never upset for the reason I think. And so I started to really examine my thoughts. And I realized that the real reason I was stressed
Yeah.
was because I was afraid of failing.
Ah,
I was afraid the project wasn't going to be successful.
I see.
And instead of owning that fear, I was projecting it onto my coworker.
That's a really good example.
It was so much easier to blame him
Right.
than to face my own fear of failure.
Exactly. And it's so common to do that, right? We project our own stuff onto other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we get upset with them for it.
It's so sneaky.
It is. It's so sneaky.
It's so subtle.
But the more we can become aware of this pattern,
Yeah.
the more we can start to choose differently.
And then we can actually address the real issue
Exactly.
rather than just staying stuck in that blame cycle.
Right, because blaming someone else never actually solves anything.
No, it doesn't. It just keeps us trapped in that negativity.
Yeah, and it prevents us from taking responsibility for our own experience,
Right.
which is really the key to inner peace.
The key to inner peace.
To free.
And I think even something like, just to give another example, like traffic.
Oh, yeah.
We get so frustrated
Or traffic is a great example.
when we're sitting in traffic.
Yeah,
And it's like, why are these people driving so slowly? Why are they in my way?
right.
But really, what is that about? Is it really about the other drivers?
It's usually not, right?
Or is it about our own impatience?
Yeah.
Our own resistance
It's about wanting things to be different than they are.
to being in the present moment,
Exactly.
to accepting what is.
Which is a big theme in
Acceptance.
It's
Yeah.
acceptance of what is.
So this lesson is really encouraging us to pause
Yes.
before we react,
Mm.
to take a breath,
And to question.
and to ask ourselves,
Yeah.
is this really why I'm upset?
Yeah.
Or is there something deeper going on here?
What's the real source of this feeling?
What's the real source?
Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
I hope everyone listening will really take that question to heart today.
Yeah, I hope so.
Pay attention to those upsets, big and small,
All of them.
and see if you can uncover that real thought behind them.
Exactly. And if you're never upset for the reason you think, what might be the real reason? What deeper fears or insecurities are being triggered?
That is the question.
Yeah.
So we'll leave you with that to ponder today. And tomorrow, we're going to be talking about something that plays a huge role in all of this.
Ooh.
Forgiveness.
That's a big one.
That's a big one, so you do not want to miss it.
Can't wait.
We'll see you then.
See you tomorrow.